Jim Justice was sworn into his new office this morning. Justice delayed his swearing in until after Governor Patrick Morrisey's inauguration yesterday. Justice, who just completed his final term as governor, was elected to the Senate seat previously held by former U.S. Senator Joe Manchin. Justice was joined by his fellow West Virginia Republican Senator Shelley Moore Capito on the Senate floor for his swearing in. Capito welcomed Justice in a video posted to social media.
Senator Jim Justice, we're so happy to have him here. We're going to work together to make sure that we're moving forward on the agenda that President Trump has set. We agree with the direction that he wants to go, and I can't wait to work with you here in the Senate to make sure that happens.